3 red lines. You've been here. Your app is down, your users are waiting, and you're staring at DevTools with no idea which one failed first or why. A 404. A 500. A course error. Is it your code? The server? The network? You are guessing. And the root cause is always the same: you don't have a mental model of the journey. A request from your browser passes through 5 checkpoints, and every one of them fails differently. By the end of this video, you look at any network error and know exactly where it broke, in under 30 seconds. This is System Design Explained, Episode 1, and we're going to explain the whole journey with a post office. Let's build the map. Those 5 checkpoints all live in one picture. 3 zones. The client, your browser, your device, the sender. DNS in the middle, the address book. And the server, the sorting facility, where the work actually happens. Every request passes through all 3, and every error belongs to exactly one of them. 8 terms, 1 post office. That's the whole map. Let's name each piece. Think of it like a post office. Every exchange has just 3 players, and each one maps to something you already know. You are the sender. You write a letter and drop it in the mailbox. In the protocol world, that's the client. That letter travels outward, down the line. The letter itself is the request, the outgoing message headed to the facility. It keeps going, all the way to the other end, until it reaches the server, the sorting facility that processes it and sends a return letter back. Here's the key pattern. The sender starts every conversation, the facility just answers. That's literally why it's called a server. It serves. So what actually travels in these letters? The request carries 3 things: the method, get, post, put, delete, what to do, the path, which shelf to look on, and the host, which facility to deliver to. The return letter carries 3 things too: a status code, the headers, and the body, the actual content you asked for. Method, path, host going out. Status, headers, body coming back. That's the structure of every single exchange. And one catch most people miss: no request, no response. The facility never speaks until it's spoken to. Hold on to that. It's the key to the twist coming up. Remember those red 404s and 500s from the opening? Now you can read them. The status code is the facility's stamp on the return envelope. 200, letter delivered, everything's fine. 404, I couldn't find that shelf, the path doesn't exist. 500, my sorting machine caught fire, the server crashed trying to handle it. 2 of the 3 red lines from slide 1 are stamped right here. The server was telling you all along, you just didn't have the language to hear it yet. The letter's written. How does it find the facility? The IP address is the mailing address. Every server on the internet has its own unique number. But you don't type numbers, you type a name, example.com. Something has to turn that into the real address, 23, 215, 0, 136. And the port is a department number. One building can hold many departments. Port 443 is the HTTPS department. Port 80, the HTTP front desk. Port 22, the SSH back entrance. The address picks the building, the port picks the desk inside it. So who turns the name into the number? DNS, the address book. You remember names, not numbers. Before your computer even writes the letter, it does a DNS lookup. No DNS, no letter. The request never leaves your device. And when DNS breaks, you get server not found, not a 404, nothing from the server at all, because the letter never even got addressed. And the network itself? Those are the mail routes, the cables, the routers, the undersea lines that carry letters between post offices. So here's the twist. When you open a website, who actually starts the conversation? Most people assume the server pushes the page to you. It doesn't. Your computer, the client, sends the first letter. Always. The facility sits idle until your letter arrives. It never speaks first. That's the single most important idea in client-server. The client initiates, the server answers. Quick one before we move on. Did you guess right? Tell me in the comments. But hang on, what about everything that looks like the server reaching out to you? The website sends you the page. Your phone buzzes with push notifications. The server streams video right to your screen. Here's the catch. In every one of those, your client opened the connection first. The server can push data back over that open line, but only because your client knocked first. The door always opens from your side. Now the full journey, end to end, the 5 checkpoints I promised at the start. Step 1. You, the client, write the letter. Step 2. DNS looks up the address. Miss this and nothing else runs. Step 3. The request travels, carrying the address and the port. Step 4. The server processes it. This is where your 404s and 500s live. Step 5. The response comes back, and this is where course lives. Miss any one checkpoint and the chain breaks. That's your map. Every network error you'll ever see belongs to one of these 5 steps. And here it is, your complete decoder ring. The model side, client is the letter sender, server the sorting facility, request the outgoing letter, response the return letter. The network side, IP address is the mailing address, port the department number, DNS the address book, and the network itself, the mail routes. 8 terms, 1 post office, every concept accounted for. Pause and screenshot this, it's your decoder ring. Time for the bonus, let's watch a real letter travel across the internet. We type curl-way, and our request starts its journey. First stop, the address book. DNS resolves example.com into its real mailing address 23.215.0.136 on port 443. Connected. The letter has reached that address, straight to the secure desk on port 443. Here's our outgoing letter, get/http 1.1. We're asking the facility for the homepage. And the host header tells the facility exactly which website we want. Now the return letter lands. 200, the facility stamped it, everything's fine. Content type, text/HTML, they've sent a web page back in the envelope. Content length, 1256, that's how thick the return envelope is. Every line you just saw maps to the post office, address book, department, outgoing letter, return stamp. And the client wrote first, that's not an implementation detail, that's the model. Sender, address book, letters, sorting facility, the post office covers every piece of client server. And the one rule that ties every checkpoint together, the server never starts the conversation. The client always does. Hold that, now let's go back to where we started. Remember the 3 red lines from the start? Read them now. The 404 failed at step 4, the server, the path doesn't exist. Check your URL or your route config. The 500, also step 4, but different. The request arrived, the server tried to handle it, and it crashed. Check your backend logs. And the course error, that's step 5, the response. Here's the part almost nobody explains, the facility actually answered. It mailed the return letter. But your browser refused to open it, because the server never stamped it with the permission headers that say, this site is allowed to read me. Nothing crashed. The fix isn't in your front end, it's the missing stamp. Add the course headers on your server. Same 3 errors. Same DevTools panel. But you're not guessing anymore, you can name the checkpoint and the fix for every one. Same errors, different developer. You just fixed your first problem, you can read any network error in DevTools. But there's a second problem every developer hits, and it looks completely different. One user, 48 milliseconds, perfect. 1000 users. Timeout. 503. Dead. Same code. Same server. Nothing changed. You fixed the client-server model. Now you need to understand what happens when thousands of those requests hit at the exact same moment. That's the difference between latency, how fast one request is, and throughput, how many you can handle at once. And optimizing one can quietly wreck the other. SD02, latency versus throughput, explained with a highway. Before you go, here's your challenge. Name one system where the server really does seem to push data to you. Drop it in the comments, and while you're typing, think about why it's still client-server underneath. I read every one. Next up, latency versus throughput, explained with a highway. Those post office letters had a travel time, and that's exactly where things get interesting. See you there.